Welcome to the video on Python Hangman. So what I did first was I looked at a working example of Hangman, and I went through and I tried to figure out what are all the things you need to know to be able to successfully write this program. And I came up with these 7. There may be more than these 7, and if we come up with more, we'll add them to the list. So the first thing we need to know how to do is how to do input and output. Then we need to know how to go through a string and replace each letter with an asterisk and keep the spaces. We need to know how to do a loop using what's called a sentinel. We need to be able to check if a letter in a string matches a certain letter. We need to know how to change individual letters. We need to know how to keep score, and then we need to know how to determine if we win or lose. So today I'm going to try to do the first part and maybe the second part in this video. So let's look at the first part. So first thing I'm going to do is make a new file, and I'm going to call it input output example, and I'm going to save it in that folder that I made for just my Python projects. So I'm going to save as, and I'm going to try to find my Python project folder file. There it is, and I'm going to make a new folder in here, and I'm going to call it Hangman Game. And then I'm going to place this in here. So we're going to call this inputs outputs example .py. Make sure you end it with a .py or it won't work. Okay, then I'm going to go to my command prompt or your terminal if you're using Linux, and I'm going to try to find that directory. Okay, so it was in the Python directory. Okay, so here I have gpython. I'm going to type dir, and there's my Hangman game. So I'm going to cd Hangman game, and make sure that I have my input output example.py. Okay, so let's start with output, since that's easiest. To do output in Python, you just use the print command. So print prints whatever is between the parentheses. Okay, so if I want to print hello, I'll just type print, and then I'll type a string that says hello. Okay, so that'll print hello. If I do this though, it will not work, because if it's not inside the quotation marks, that means we're trying to use a variable called hello, and we haven't set hello to anything yet. So if I want to do this, I have to assign hello a value before I do the print. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to save it, and I just want to save this one. So save, make sure that it's saved, and then I'm going to go back to my terminal, and I'm going to type in Python, and then I'm going to type input output example, and a shortcut, if you just start typing and press tab, it'll fill in the rest. Okay, so there's my 2 strings that I wanted to output. Alright, so let's go back and talk about input. For input, what you're doing is you're making a variable equal to whatever the user types in. So if I want to type in, say, your name, I'm going to make a variable called your name. I'm going to make it equal, and then I'm going to type inputs, and then whatever's in between the parentheses for the input is a prompt. So I could type, what is your name? I'm going to put like that. Make sure you put a space, or whenever they start typing, it'll be all jammed together. And then that'll put whatever the person types in into this variable called your name. So if I go print and then your name, it'll print the name. Okay, so let's run this. What is your name? Is that Fred? And I'll say Fred. Okay, and then you can kind of make it a little better by just typing a little bit before this. So you could type hello, space, then plus, and then your name. And file save, and we'll check. I'm just pressing the up arrow key as a shortcut. That keeps the history, and we can, that way we don't have to type the whole thing over and over again. Okay. Alright, so that covers input and output. In the next video, we'll talk about how to do a string and when we replace each letter with a different letter.